So here we got SNDL, Sundial Growers. Here's actually the 2-year chart, daily candles, so we can see the entire history of this ticker. I want to do a broad overview of it, and let's start off by looking and seeing that there actually has been no reverse splits. So this is the genuine price action. So it is worth noting, had you put $10,000 in that beginning, you'd now have, $1,100. You'd be down 88%. So wouldn't have been good if you got it in right away. But so the big thing is this sold off. Here we are at the COVID bottom. It got as low as 39 cents, bounced up, but actually didn't hold up while the market rallied. It continued down to the 10 cent. Let's go to the 1 year to get closer. So it went as low as 14 cents, and then the volume here, you see the volume picks it up. So I'm pretty sure the Reddit crowd and all that came to it when GameStop and all that got hot, when they were trying to squeeze the stocks. This was always going to be heavily shorted, and we'll go over why it was shorted. But so the volume picked up, and this actually went on a rally from 14 cents to all the way up to $4. So incredible move, where people would have made a lot of money if they held, and a lot of people will be in love with it because of that move and the money they did make. So people will keep coming back to it. But I want to go over some of the fundamentals, and then we'll go over some of the technical analysis to get a feel for what's going on this stock. Because here we see it bouncing off the 200 SMA and curling up. Let's see if it can get over this 50 SMA and push up to where it was at. Test the $1 level. But let's look at some of the fundamentals first. So some of the interesting things. So first of all, on their last 20F, so their annual report, but they're from Canada, so it's a 20S. So they had 918.8 million shares outstanding. So the end of December, 918.8 million shares outstanding. This is not by no means a low float stock. And let's look at some of their revenue. So it's not good. So for the year ending December 31st, 2020, these are in thousands. So they had $73 million in revenue for the whole year. And you gotta remember how many shares they had. So they had nearly 820 million shares, and they're pulling $73 million in revenue. And it's even worse because their net loss is $240 million. So they brought in $73 million in revenue and lost $240 million. That is not good. And they have a big amount of shares. So I'll keep going. So here's their most latest quarterly report they just did for the 3 months that ended March 21st. And their revenue is yet down again compared to last year. So 11.7 million as opposed to 16.6 million last year. So that's what is well said on this Seek and Alpha situation. So it declined 29% year to year. It's also saying, look at this, the company said it will begin commercializing strains with higher THC potency in Q4. The fact that they wouldn't have done that from the very get-go is a big red flag to me. What are they, do they think people want to smoke Canadian Bammer? Come on. And so let's also look at they've snuck a 42B in here, and they're saying common shares to be outstanding after this recent offering. So it says, based on the 1.66 billion shares outstanding as of March 17th, 2021. So now we got to double back. See their last 20F we were just going over? Let me find that again. So they had 918.8 million shares on December 31st. And here they are saying they got 1.66 billion March 17th, 2021. So that's how much dilution. A crazy amount of dilution. So see that again, 1.66 in March. December, 918 million. So they didn't double it, but not far from it. And they're saying after this offering, there's going to be 2.17 billion shares. So this is it's going to be a 2.179 billion share company that's losing $250,000 a year. That makes no sense. And if you're going to try to squeeze it just off the pure fact that it's a cheap price, a share price, it's not going to work because of the share count, as well as the future dilution that's going to continue to come. So this is a stock that also, as we look back at the year, I'll put this line at $1 and see. So it had been trading over $1 for a while, but here we are since April, back under $1. So it's interesting when I dug deep into the compliance. Back here in December 11th, they said they will allow the company to regain compliance if for a minimum of 10 consecutive business days before June 26th, the bid closes above $1, right? But just on the 28th, they did an SEC filing saying they got notified on May 25th, 2021. That their close price of the company's common share for the last 30 days, blah, blah, blah. And they have compliance till November 22nd. So they got to get this over the 22nd. By the 22nd, they got to have this share price close over $1 10 trading days in a row to regain compliance. But here they are acknowledging here in December that they might have to do a reverse split. So I think this is probably headed towards a reverse split. I think it's going to be one of those situations where everyone gets a lot of hope up thinking they're going to break the dollar and do it naturally, and then they get screwed by the company last minute. So this is going to be a day trade scalp play for me. And let's go over the price action. So to see it the better, I got it on the day. Here's the 1 year, and here's the 100 day. So I got a lot of lines in here. So I want to close at 98 cents on Friday. So I want to go over the supports underneath it. The first support I'm seeing is 96 cents. We got 96 right here. I'm going to remove them while I speak about them. So let's see. There's 96. So it's the top of this candle as well as the top of these two candles. Up below that is 90. Top of this candle as well as these two candles. This next one's going to be 80. It's this. Bottom of these candles, bottom of these candles. The support here and the resistance here. And that's going to be 82 actually, not 80. So 96, 90, 82, and then 72, which is the top of this candle, these candles. So it was resistance here, and then it acted as support as well as being right near the 200 SMA, 72 cents. So this is support 72, 82, 90, and 96. And for resistance, I got 103, which is the bottom of these candles, the top of these candles, and the top of this wick. The next one I got is 108, which is the top of the bottom of these candles and the general support bottom of these cluster of candles right here. I gotta get rid of that one. So the next one is 113. So these are fairly close, but it's still 5-6%. So I wouldn't. What I'm saying is, look, I'm not gonna let this go to 103, and then I'm not gonna shoot for letting it go for the next one without putting my stop at one of these levels. So once it breaks 103, I'm not saying you necessarily gotta take your 5-6%. But from there, I'd put my stop there and then go for the 108. And then once it hits the 108, I'd put a stop there and then go for the 113. But I wouldn't, let it go. Hold a 98 cents average to 113 and let it come back to 103 and then hope it goes higher instead of scalping it and locking my profits on the way up at these points of resistance. former support levels. So 103, 108, 113, which is the bottom of these candles, the bottom of these candles, and the bottom of these candles. 113. So the next one would be 122, which would be the top of these candles, top of this candle, and the top of this candle, and the bottom of this one. So 122. Then I go 133, which is the bottom of these candles, the bottom of this candle, the bottom of this candle, and pretty much the bottom of that candle. So let's go over these again. 103, 108, 113, 122, and then 133. Then 142 would be my next one, which you can see is the clear top of all four of these candles. These three candles or so. The bottom of this wick, and pretty much the bottom of that candle. So there's going to be a lot of resistance there. So above 142, the next one is 154, I see. That's the general top of these ones, as well as the top of these two candles. 154. Above 154, I'm saying 162, which is the top of this candle, the top of this candle, the top of this wick, and pretty much the top of this candle. And then above 162, the final one is going to be 175, which is the top of this candle, pretty much the bottom of this one, as well as the top of this candle. So that will be the next, and at a psychological level of 175. So to go over those again: 103, 108, 113, 122, 133, 142, 154, 162, and 175. I'd be locking profits at all those points. And on the downside, the support would be 96, 90, 82, and 72. But I think generally this will be a good one for day trades. I want to hold this overnight, and I think it's probably going to head to a reverse split. I don't think there's going to be much money in the Canadian weed space. Once the federal laws actually legalize it, there might be pumps, but I think that's actually bad for their business. I think there would just be more competition. I think our companies in America would outgrow them, especially here in California.